We're live.
Mm-hmm.
We are live, finally. Okay, first and foremost, I want to go ahead and make a formal apology to everyone watching this live stream. We ran into a little personnel difficulty, but we got that solved, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say no names, but we ran into a personnel issue. Anywho, but I want to go ahead. I want to thank you all for joining me again this week. Once again, this is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief.
And this is uberhikari, a.k.a. the Nerd Nigga, here to do another video with Otaku Assemble and Bankai with no frills, just the analysis.
And you know me, it's Bankai 922.
And we are here to kick off the first in my new weekly Small Council video segment right here on
Otaku Assemble
Weekly. And as always, here to bring you the latest. We do need to practice on that on syncing up that the catchphrase. we need to work. We'll practice on it. We'll practice on it. So anyway, as I mentioned before, this is the first in my new weekly segment entitled The Small Council, I think appropriately titled. And pretty much what this will be is weekly discussions on each episode of the 4th season of Game of Thrones. So pretty much after the episode premieres for any given week, later on in that week before the next episode premieres, we'll meet every week here doing a live hangout on YouTube and pretty much just do a sort of a round table discussion panel. That's the general idea. Like I know, for an example, myself, uberhikari, Anime Rick, who wasn't able to join us tonight. Now, Bankai does live hangouts. You do live hangout for your reviews, correct?
Yeah, but I don't do review. I do like an afterthoughts on right after it's over. Like midnight or 11 p.m. I'll do a live stream.
Okay. Well, I know for me, Hikari, and Rick, we all do solo reviews. And the one thing about solo reviews is there's not much opportunity for retort. There's not much banter. There's not much discussion because you don't have someone to bounce ideas off of. So that was the whole idea behind this segment, that we go ahead and get that started. So without further ado, let's kick off the discussion for the Season 4 premiere entitled Two Swords. And we're going to go around starting things off with just giving our general overall thoughts on the episode as a whole. Hikari, kick us off.
Well, my thoughts on last week's episode. First of all, I thought the episode was a good episode. I thought it was a pretty good setup episode to kick us off for the season. One thing I always like about the writing of Game of Thrones is that there are so many disparate storylines, and it's always a good thing to see how they can weave together all of those disparate storylines from multiple locations throughout Westeros and throughout the Game of Thrones world. And so I really liked that. I really liked the introduction of Oberyn Martell. I can tell that this guy is going to be fucking people up and taking names, basically. That's basically what this guy is here to do. Hopefully, he's beating the shit out of a Lannister not named Tyrion. I think that would be great. But you know how it goes in the Game of Thrones. Everybody gets messed up, even if they don't always deserve it. Mm-hmm. So I really like the introduction of Oberyn Martell. I really like his character. Another thing that I really like, although I found, I don't want to say confusing, but it is mysterious, if I can use that word, is the relationship between Jaime and Brienne. I'm still not sure what that relationship symbolizes for Jaime. But I can see the development, the movement of Jaime's character towards something that could potentially make him greater. I'm not sure if he'll ever get there, because as I always say, there is a difference between character growth and character development. So it's entirely possible that he could go through this relationship with Brienne and end up right where he is now. That's entirely possible. So instead of character growth, he would have character development. And I really like the way they play off of each other, the way Brienne and Jaime plays off of each other. I really love Jaime's black comedy. I think that gives us a lot in that relationship between Jaime and Brienne. So I really like the way that started off in this season. What else? I really love the opening scene of the episode. I know everybody.
I said general thoughts. Brief overall.
Oh, okay. So I guess that it was a great setup episode, and it looks like we're off to a great start for season 4.
Okay, Bonkai, now it's your turn.
That was pretty in depth.
Yeah, exactly. Really, it's like, dude, these are discussion points.
Hey man, I'm sorry.
Overall, I thought this was an amazing episode. I mean, from like Uber was saying about Martell, but I will say the opening really gave me chills. It really did. It set like the post Red Wedding on point. You know what I mean? Like really like out there. I was like, oh my god. You know, I didn't really expect that. But really a good start, and I have nothing else to say. Just great start for the new season.
All right, and yeah, my general thoughts, more or less, they still coincide with what I mentioned in my review for this episode, was that I like how the episode focused more on getting the characters we're already familiar with to the next stage, instead of bombarding us with a bunch of new characters, a bunch of new subplots, a bunch of new story arcs that we all got to put into our memory banks, being the premiere of the season. Now, granted, sometimes that's wanted, sometimes that's merited, but seeing as how, especially when you take in consideration that season 4 is the second half of the 3rd book, that we didn't just get a bunch of new stuff out of nowhere. Instead, they just decided to, okay, this is where we left off with this host. Okay, let's set things up so that the audience can follow where they're going to be going for the rest of the season. Slowing things down a bit, taking that time to really iron that out, is what I appreciated most about the episode. So, now that general thoughts are out of the way, now, Hikari, you can go ahead and give us a discussion topic.
Oh, just one discussion topic. I gotta talk about Daenerys. I gotta throw Daenerys out there, because I thought you weren't there for a second. Okay, so
no,
I gotta throw Daenerys out there. I gotta throw Daenerys out there as a discussion topic. I really would like to see what people think about her character, about her personality, about her storyline. So I'm just throwing that out there on the table.
Yeah, I thought I mean, the thing is, I'm trying to keep my expectations for Daenerys sort of what's the term I'm looking for? Sort of humble. You know, because the thing is, I get the feeling that Daenerys is not going to play a huge role in the central plot for a long time to come. You know what I mean? Because everything Daenerys has been doing, well, pretty much since the start of the series, it's off to the side. It doesn't have anything to really do with what's going on in Westeros, with the exception of, you know, the assassination attempt in the first season and the looming threat of the, you know, Dothraki invasion. After that first season, that was it. Everything she's done has sort of been on the side. And the thing is, now I'm not saying that it doesn't have any significance or it doesn't have any weight or it's not important. But when the rest of your show focuses on this big thing going on over here and you have that one character doing something extracurricular, yeah, you can't help but feel a sense of detachment there.
Right.
You know what I mean? You still root for her. You still want to see her do this, that, and the other. But dude, remember what it is Daenerys was supposed to have been doing. What was she supposed to have been doing? Get ships, get money to buy ships and buy an army to go to Westeros.
Yeah.
Right. Retake the Iron Throne.
Exactly. No. She got the ships. She got the army. Hell, she got the dragons. She got the money. She is no closer to being the Westeros than she ever has been.
That's true. That's true.
That is true.
So what do you guys think about? Oh, go ahead, Larry.
No. Go ahead. I was done.
I was just gonna ask, what do you think about her character in general, though? What do you see as her character arc or her characterization?
I mentioned it in my expectations video. I think where Daenerys' storyline is supposed to come into play, I think that's the character we're supposed to. Excuse me, I shouldn't eat and talk at the same time. I think that's the character. I see you, Bon, kind of laughing at me. I had a piece of food on my thumb. I had to get it off. Anyway, I see her character representing the sort of creation of the monarch. You know what I mean? Where in comparison to all the characters we have in power over in Westeros, right? In comparison to Robert, in comparison to okay, I'll get to Joffrey in a minute. But compared to Robert, compared to Tywin, compared to, hell, even Stannis, you know, we have these old guys, by comparison to Dany, old guys, who are already in these high positions of power. We don't see that rise. We don't see the things they go through to make them the way they are. We hear about them. We learn about them in passing, but we never see that. I mean, hell, even with some of the younger characters, like with Jaime, or Sir Barristan, that's another good example of one where we hear these stories about them. The Mountain, the Hound, we keep hearing about what they did. We don't see it. Dany represents, to me, the rise of that monarch, that person that the events that are happening to her now are going to shape the ruler she may become someday. And we're seeing that for good or for ill. By comparison of that, or by contrast of that, we see Joffrey. And then it's a very good compare and contrast, because Dany wasn't privileged, sold into slavery. You know, I mean, she was sold to a warlord, you know, married off to a warlord, sold into a form of slavery, got from under that, rose to a position of power in the Khazar, lost said husband, lost said Khazar, and then had to struggle for everything that she has now. Joffrey has been given everything, and we see how that turns him into the Mekla. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but the maniacal motherfucker that he is right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Meklamaniac.
I think that's right. I think that's an interesting comparison. But here's what I think of Daenerys, and I mentioned this in my review. I think that she might turn out to be the most dangerous character in the series.
Oh.
And the reason why I say that is because while Joffrey is certainly a psychopath, I mean he's definitely crazy. I think that the problem with Joffrey is that he lacks what Daenerys has that makes her dangerous, which is the ability to become a messiah, a savior, to gain people's trust, to gain fanatical followers, to be charismatic, and to have the authority. Because that's the thing about this show as well. There's a big difference between power and authority. And right now, Joffrey has the power, but he doesn't have the authority. I mean, it's the reason why Tywin can come all up in his castle and basically say, this shit ain't going down like that. But Daenerys actually has authority that her followers will respect.
Yeah.
And I think that puts her in a position where she can be potentially more dangerous than Tywin, more dangerous than even Joffrey is right now. And I like I said before, I think that she has a messiah complex that will lead her to be able to justify anything that she wants to do because she thinks that she's the savior. And I think we saw a little bit of that in this episode where she said, the people in Marine don't want to listen to me, they die. Simple as that. They don't want to listen to me, they don't want to give me back what's rightfully mine as a Targaryen, they die. Simple as that. And I think it's going to be very interesting when she has to really confront what it means to go to war with Westeros. Because right now, like you said, she's not at war. She's completely detached from what's going on in Westeros.
Yeah.
And she has never been in the thick of battle. And so she doesn't know what it means to come into a town, raze it to the ground, burn everything, and kill everybody there and say, this is the foundation of my power and my authority. So I think it'll be an interesting moral dilemma for her when that time comes. What do you think, Bankai?
Well, I mean, what I found interesting, which I don't know if this is going to be a plot point later on, her dragons. And what was said to her in the very beginning of the episode. I mean,
that she can't control them.
That she can't control them.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I don't know the whole story about the other dragons previously with the first Targaryen, the Mad King. I don't know what he did and how he controlled his dragons. But for her, she's got to have some kind of way to control them, because at the end of the day, they're wild beasts, and at some point, I wonder, when is it going to happen when they go and attack her or go against her? I wonder that.
Well, I mean, but I don't. To be honest, I don't think that would have much problem to do with Dany. Like, to me, that's the same problem that anybody would have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you have these dragons. Well, a dragon is just as wild as any other beast. If you can tame it, it'll do what the hell you want it to. And see what's funny? But I will say this, though. I wonder if y'all noticed this. Just from that scene when that dragon snapped at her the way he did, I'm already seeing a difference between this sort of supernatural taming going on. Like, we never saw any of that from the direwolves with the Starks. Those motherfuckers almost interact as if they're in the same mind. We know Bran and Summer are, because Bran's ability. But I mean, like, if you go back to season 1, how Summer comes and defends Bran without Bran even doing anything. How Grey Wind comes and defends Robb without Robb even doing anything. How Ghost comes to Jon, not just making a bunch of noise, and Jon responds to it. Ghost almost like, the scene when he's fucking scratching on the door and Jon's like, what's going on? Ghost comes and it's like, hey, motherfucker, let's go. Let's go. There's something on the other side of this door. You see what I mean? It's sort of, I'm already starting to see sort of a difference of that. You know what I mean? Now, that could just be because of the animal. Dragons are bigger, more powerful, maybe more feral. Could be. But I don't think Dany will have any more of a problem than any other dragon tamer.
That's true.
Right. But it does raise an interesting aspect of her character, though, because she was born in fire. There's the implication is that there is some sort of supernatural connection between her and the dragons. Yeah. So it would certainly be an interesting dilemma for her character.
Here's one final thing I want to say about Daenerys, though, and it's in regards to what you said, Hikari. I hope that they do not, like, seriously. They've done things with Daenerys' character in the past that I didn't really care about, the self-entitlement and all that type of shit. I don't really care for that, because she doesn't have any claim to anything. Any fucking thing. Okay, let's call a spade, a goose, and a geese, Your brother was the heir, not you. Your brother was supposed to.
That's interesting.
Not you. And I'm not talking about Viserys. I'm talking about Rhaegar.
Rhaegar, right.
Rhaegar was the heir. He was supposed to be king. His children were supposed to be king thereafter him. You weren't supposed to get shit. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's the first thing. But my main point is this. I hope that they do not write her as having a Messiah complex. A Messiah effect, not a Messiah complex.
That's interesting. That's a very important distinction. I've never thought about that before.
Yes. I want her actions to bring about that sort of effect, but I don't want her to get in her head that she's a fucking savior. No.
Mm.
All right, so Bankai, what you got? What you got for us cooking next, man?
I guess I want to talk. Okay, Larry's not gonna like this discussion. I want to talk about Sansa.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing. I'm not a hater of Sansa. I'm not a fanboy of Sansa. But this is what I will say about this episode. I did feel a little bit for Sansa. A little bit. At least in the moment that where she was sitting down and she was talking to Tyrion, and you know, she says, "Oh, I remember. I imagine how they died and everything." And I was like, "Oh shit," you know. And I will say this about her: I found it interesting that during that conversation, and then next time we see her, she's walking through this maze, and this guy shows up out of nowhere, and it's the guy who she kind of saved during Joffrey's name day, and he basically gives her this. Yeah, it was the same guy. Yeah.
She saved him. I'll give her that.
Yeah, and he gives her this necklace to wear. Wear it, wear it, because I have nothing left. This is the only thing I have left. And I will say this: for that moment, I care for Sansa. To that moment, only that moment, though. I mean,
I can't abide by that. I can't abide by Sansa's character. And here's what I'll say about Sansa, and I mean, I probably won't ever even address her throughout my Game of Thrones reviews, and here's why.
Doesn't do anything.
I'm completely neutral about Sansa as a character. I don't like her. I don't dislike her. I just don't care about her character. I mean, she could be removed from the narrative and it wouldn't change a thing for me. Honestly, I don't think it would change anything for the narrative either. So I'll just say that. However, I will say that I do not like the way her character is written. And the reason why is because she's just there to be a female victim. I cannot abide by that. In 2014, there should not be female. Now we understand that the Game of Thrones world is misogynistic. It's patriarchal. You know, every man wants to rape every woman they come across. Okay, I understand that this culture is incredibly violent towards females, towards women. But what I can't have is to have a character whose sole purpose is to be the symbol of that female of violence against females. I can't abide by that. It's patronizing to women. It's incredibly offensive to me, and I think it's incredibly offensive to a lot of other people. I mean, at the point at which a character whose sole function is basically to be meaningless to the narrative, you can't stand by a character like that. That's why I won't even. That's why I won't even address her.
Exactly my point. And see, the fun. Now, granted, anyone watching this live stream, either now or anyone watching this hereafter, I mean, if you've seen my review, I didn't even mention Sansa because I'm not going to. Look, here's my thing. I just want her to do something. Writers, give her something to do instead of just walking around the fucking Red Keep, fucking whining all the time. Do something, god damn it! And you know what? And look, and here's the thing. It's the same thing I ran into when I did my Sansa rant, and I got all the hate and all that, everyone calling me sexist and shit like that, despite the fact that in the rant, when I talked about Sansa as a weak female character, I did not compare her to the male characters. I compared her to her peers. Dany, who's damn near the same fucking age as Sansa. Or in the book she is, like, Dany and Sansa are only a couple of years apart. Everything that fucking Dany does. Everything that fucking Arya does, who's younger than Sansa. Everything that fucking Cat does. For fuck's sake, Marjorie's husband was murdered. And what did she do? Oh, I can't be queen under him? Okay, let me go be queen under another guy. Now, yeah, you could go ahead and say, oh, it's just political and shit like that. At least she's doing something. She's being proactive. She's moving the story. Same thing with Cersei. You could say the same thing. All Cersei does is parade around the Red Keep and throw her weight around. But at least she's doing stuff. She's being proactive.
And it's not just. Here's the thing.
For non-proactive characters.
And here's the thing, Larry. It's not just that she's not doing anything. It's that she's not a person. She's not a real character. She's an archetype. She's a stereotype.
I won't even go that far. I won't even go that far. My base concern is just give her something to do. Give us fuck. Even Shay had something to do. Even he had something to do. Fuck. What's your girl name? Roz, the whore. Even Roz had something to do in season 3.
Oh man.
Give Sansa something
what's
to
her name?
do. Even
what's her name?
Roz
Asha?
Huh?
Asha? Bran's the one shepherding Bran.
Yes.
With
Osha.
Yeah.
Yes. Osha
yeah.
is doing something. Ygritte is doing something. Thank you for bringing up the other female characters that I forgot about. Yeah. Osha is doing something. Ygritte is doing something. Yara is doing something. You know, she just went and saved her brother Theon. Fucking
Right.
What's my other girl's name? The Reeds. The brother and sister, the siblings that are with Bran. Even the sister, she's doing something.
Yeah, she is doing something.
Every other female character in this fucking show is doing something.
Hell, even the girl, what was it, Stannis' daughter, who's in the prison, she's doing something.
Even she did something.
She's doing something, and she's got a bird.
You know what? That raises an interesting question. That's an interesting question. Why is Sansa being written this way? How can the writers get away with this? It's obvious that the writers are competent, right?
No.
They are intelligent.
Hang on a minute. Keep this in mind, though. Granted, I haven't read the books, but this is what book readers have told me. Book readers have told me that Sansa's chapters in the book are these. It's all like interior dialogue. It's all about her thoughts, her feelings, all that sort of thing. She is a, I guess you could call it a retrospective type of character, where the events are reflected from her. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of character she is. She, you know, that's sort of like insight character. Here's the problem with that, though. No. You are adapting a literary material to a visual medium. You know what no one wants to see?
It's even worse than that because in a book you have access to a character's internal thoughts. In a visual medium, you have no access to her internal thoughts.
Hang on a minute, I'm not done. Wait, I just thought of something. Isn't that interesting? No one wants to see that shit. Do something.
Do something.
God.
Oh, wow.
Do something. God damn it, Bonkai, you got me worked up.
Well, and let's be honest here. I mean, because there's this guy. He's probably watching this stream. Res Boy. Kind of like a Sansa fanboy and kind of likes her and everything. No offense, man, but like Larry said, she has to do something. She can't just be walking around doing nothing. I mean,
everybody. I mean, dude, and keep something in mind. Let's make sure that we ourselves and everyone watching this stream are all on the same page here. Our quarrel is only with the character.
Yeah.
It has absolutely nothing. If Sansa is your favorite character, rock that shit. Go nuts. Go crazy. I'm not saying you can't like her. I'm not saying that you're wrong for liking her. I'm not saying that you're an idiot for liking her. I'm not saying that you're going to, die a horrible flaming death in the pools of Tartarus for liking her. I'm not saying anything of that. Y'all asked me what were my thoughts on the character, how I felt about the character. All that I just talked about only pertains to one person. This guy. That's it. And I mean, and granted, beyond that, the more objective thing. Her character's not working. How can you make her character work? How can you write this character? Remember, this is the point of the discussion that is objective, not subjective, not what you think or how you feel. It's cold, hard, critical analysis of the material. And just because her character might work in the books does not necessarily mean that it's being translated well into the show.
Right, but that's the writer's fault.
Exactly. Give the girl a hobby. Let her take up knitting or something.
Knitting.
Something.
Yep. Who knows? Maybe.
We saw Kat. We saw Kat go through like what 2-3 reads in like an episode.
Right. Yeah, she was.
You know what I'm saying? Let Sansa do something. Be a tailor. Be a fuck. Even Arya had a part-time job as a cupbearer in season 2. Do something, shit. Damn. All right. So let me see. Okay, yeah, it's my turn. My turn for topic. Let me see. Let's talk about Oberyn. Straight up. Let's talk about Oberyn.
Oh, okay.
I like him immediately, and not just so much. Now, granted, of course, I love anybody who hates the Lannisters. That goes without saying. But no, I like his tenacity. I like the fact that although it is somewhat archetypal and a bit cliche that the younger brother, because remember, Oberyn's the younger of the two princes, right, that it's the younger one who has to be the loudmouth or the showstopper, the stud, the one who has to, prove a point sort of guy. But Oberyn doesn't seem to, Oberyn. Goddamn fucking Avalonian legend. Anyway, Oberyn does not come across as that way just because of his circumstance. Like, you get the sense that that's genuine. That's a legitimate part of his personality. And we even learn why he is the way he is. Why does he hate the Lannisters? Because of what happened to his sister. It was messed up.
Yes.
But I liked him immediately. Like I said, tenacious, charismatic, funny. Even in a threatening scene where he is clearly, under his breath, giving subtle threats to the Lannister soldiers, he's still hilarious.
Yeah.
And as swiftly as he can go from being hilarious, he can go from being very intimidating.
Yeah.
Whoa, shit, okay, joke's over. He means business. You know what I mean? Yeah. I like that. Every so far, I like his character.
Mm-hmm.
Please,
yeah,
HBO,
me too.
don't fuck him off.
No, I don't think you can fuck up a character like Oberyn.
No.
Because he's so straightforward. I mean, that's another thing. He's not. So much of King's Landing is about statecraft. Is about manipulating people, trying to do things behind the scenes, to scheme on people. Oberyn's like, I'm not scheming on you. I'm telling you, I'm coming for you. and you know why you're about to get this ass whooping. There's nothing to discuss with Oberyn. So that's sort of like a breath of fresh air, if you know what I mean, because it adds another dimension to the story that wasn't previously there. Even with Ned, and I know you like Ned, but this just wasn't Ned's. This wasn't Ned's cup of tea, if you will.
But see, the thing is, it's like, that's the difference, though. You got to keep this in mind, too, because this was something I mentioned in my review, which was another reason why I immediately like Oberyn, is because it's one thing to be introduced to just another leader or just another nobleman. But remember what Tyrion told us before we even see Oberyn. It's like, no, he's the warrior.
Right.
He's the motherfucking spear carrier. You know what I mean? Like, no, he's not the one that just sits on a fucking high chair and barks orders. No, he's the one that gets his hands dirty. So if anything pops off, please be careful with this motherfucker.
Right. I mean, I see a little bit of comparison in that way between Ned and Oberyn, in the sense that they're direct and they're so straightforward. The main difference is Oberyn doesn't give a fuck about your honor.
Exactly.
I don't care about your honor. My honor is destroying you. That's what makes me honorable. So and that's another thing that you mentioned too that I liked about him, not in terms of the dynamic between the older brother and the younger brother. Because generally, if the younger brother has to show off, it's because of the complex that he has towards his older sibling. Mm-hmm. Oberyn is not like that. With Oberyn, it's like, I'm my own person. I am who I am, and you're going to respect me for being who I am. And I'm about to change the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's serious.
See, another good comparison would be Jaime and Tyrion. We know Tyrion is the way he is because he has to compensate for what he doesn't have. You know, what he doesn't have that Jaime has. You know, Jaime's the fucking great swordsman. He's, the one, the pretty boy. All the ladies love him and everything. So we know that Tyrion is the way he is because of Jaime. Oberyn, to me, now granted, we haven't been introduced to his brother yet, so we can't really compare him with his brother. But he seems like I came out the womb swinging. What's up? let's do this. It's like I ain't fighting for nobody.
Right, and that's interesting too, because it's actually a reversal if you think about it, because even though Oberyn's the younger brother, his older brother is sick. So it could be the case that he's also like this because he feels like he needs to take on that role of protecting his older brother who doesn't have what he has in terms of physical abilities. Whereas with Tyrion and Jaime, it's the reverse.
Mm-hmm.
It's the younger brother who's compensating for the older brother.
Wait,
so
they said his older brother was sick? Hikari?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Uh-oh, no! We got lag.
Remember, they said that...
Oh, shit, we got lag.
And are we here? Are we here?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold up.
Am I here? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you. Hikari, make some noise.
Can you see me?
No, I can see you. Yeah, I can see you.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you. Everything's rolling. How you doing, Bankai?
Good.
So we can hear and see each other?
Yes.
All right, let's keep it going.
Okay.
Now, yeah, I don't remember them mentioning that his brother.
Yeah, I can see. All right, so yeah. But remember, they said that remember, that's why he couldn't make it. I remember they said that he was suffering from some illness, so he sends his regards, if I'm not mistaken.
Regards.
I thought
that was the initial reason given why he couldn't make it.
Oh damn! I thought he just wasn't coming because it was like, I don't need to come. I'm gonna send Oberyn, but I don't need to go there. Seriously,
it could be that I'm mistaken, but from what I remember.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that because I immediately was like, man, these Martells are some cold-blooded suckers, man. It's like, screw your wedding invitation.
All day. Did you catch the woman who was? I think she was with Martell. She said, "I'm a bastard." Yeah, the one that was laying on the bed. She said she was a bastard.
Yeah.
That was his. Wait, that was his sister?
Yeah, I think that was his half sister.
Half sister, yeah. She said she was a bastard.
Wow.
So the female.
I think she's the bastard of their family.
Yeah. Females.
You know what? That's right. I completely glazed over that. Like, she did say she was the bastard of the family, and I still thought that that was his wife or his girl or something.
It might be his girl.
I know, that's what I'm saying. With George R. Martin, you never know.
Yeah, you know. Incest is running wild in this thing.
So yeah, because it certainly looked like I mean, if that really is his half sister, that certainly looked like a pretty incestuous scene, especially for an introduction, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought so. So
yes,
yeah.
indeed. Yeah, I'm not sure what's making her yet.
What were you gonna say, Uber?
No, I was just gonna ask if you had anything else you wanted to say.
Well, no, I was just mentioning that because it was in I think Rick mentioned it. It was Rick or SMX Wing. You were talking to me during my live stream, and they said like the Martells, they're different than other lords in Westeros. They're different. They have a different because notice how he's a prince.
Yeah, they use the term like prince.
They use prince instead of yeah. So they go by different ways rather than other kingdoms do. Families.
You don't play by y'all rules.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again. He was a prince instead of what?
He's a prince instead of a lord. Yeah.
Wait, say that again because I missed that. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Lagging, I think. Uber,
yeah,
you lagging?
I think I'm the one who's lagging.
Yeah, you're lagging, bro. Stop stealing that internet.
I don't know what's going on. But that's interesting. What is the difference between a prince and a lord?
Well, I mean, typically speaking, a prince that's a noble position. You know what I mean? That's royalty, succession of a line of rule. But no, the difference with the Martells and the other kingdoms and whatnot is that they still use that terminology. Like it is not.
Oh, because they've maintained their independence.
Have they?
Right. They've maintained some semblance of their independence because they're part of Dorne.
Mm-hmm.
They're part of Dorne. They are in Westeros, but apparently they still have managed to maintain some semblance of independence. And I think that's part of the reason why they didn't get wrapped up into the War of Five Kings.
Yeah, see, I was wondering about that.
Separated themselves.
I was wondering about that because my whole thing was like, why was it? I mean, if in fact, they do hate the Lannisters so much, why wouldn't they get involved in the conflict sooner? But if from what you're telling me, if they are, I mean, are they separate? Are they not ruled under the Iron Throne?
I think they are ruled under the Iron Throne, but I think they've managed to maintain some semblance of independence.
Because
that's what I think.
Yeah, because my whole thing was like, if honestly, if I was House Martell and my hated rival conspired to assume power to the throne, I would have something to say about that.
Right.
I would definitely have something to say about that. But you know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Other topics for discussion.
It has retained its independence. So I just went on the Game of Thrones wiki and it says, yep, when Aegon the Conqueror came in, apparently he wasn't able to completely conquer Dorne, and so it retained its independence.
Oh. So they're completely separate.
So that would explain the whole difference between the prince and the lord.
Yeah. Then that means they're completely separate. Isn't that fun?
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So wait a minute. Hang on a minute. If that's the case, what are the? Hey, I know I should know this, but I've never done a count. What are the 7 kingdoms? Think about it. Let's see. Winterfell, Casterly Rock, the Eyrie, Dragonstone. That, would Pike be included in there too?
I would think Pike would be included.
So
right.
then what are the other 2?
Iron Islands, Greyjoys.
So what are the other 2?
Wait, is Dorne Hold on a second. Is Dorne a part of the Seven Kingdoms, or? No, it is a part of the Seven Kingdoms. It joined the Seven Kingdoms, but it was never conquered. So it's Dorne, the Iron Islands, Casterly Rock, Dragonstone, Winterfell. What was the other one?
The Eyrie.
Eyrie. So I guess we are missing something then.
We must be missing
Wait,
one.
is it?
No, I think the last one is where Sam's from, the Tarleys. What is that one called? I cannot remember it. I think that's the 7th one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, House Tyrell is where? Where's the Tyrells?
Oh, Highgarden. Yeah.
Highgarden, that's the other one.
Right.
Okay,
so those are the 7.
Yeah, then that would be the 7, unless the Iron Islands aren't included in there.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure they are, though.
Yeah.
Right. So it seems like Dorne managed to maintain its independence and basically just said, "Fuck the War of the Five Kings." Basically.
Hang on, I got a list right here. Let's see: Dorne, Iron Islands, the Rock. I don't know which the Rock would be.
Castle
North,
Castle
the Vale, the Riverlands, and the Stormlands. Those are the 7.
The Riverlands.
Yeah, I forgot about the Riverlands.
Yeah, the Riverlands. That's
that's where Riverrun is. That's where the twins are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
I think even Harrenhal is in that area. All right. Yeah. So moving on. It's a geography. Moving on. So let's see what else went down. I mean, that was the thing with Jon, but Jon just got hassled by some half-wits that didn't know any better.
Yeah, that was basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, more or less.
Typical ignorant people.
Yeah, I talked about it in my review. I love how Homeboy, who's over at Castle Black now, who used to be the captain of the City Watch. How he has the audacity to tell Jon what Jon saw north of the wall. like Jon was like, he has giants, and Homeboy's like, giants, and Jon's like, how the fuck is you gonna tell me?
Have you ever been beyond the wall?
Yeah, exactly. And he asked him, he's like, have any of you ever been beyond the wall?
And that is kind of crazy, though.
Yeah.
Because they're the Night's Watch. They're supposed to be guarding the freaking wall, but they don't know what's beyond the wall.
Well, I mean, some of them don't. Like Homeboy, who's Lord Commander now, the one who trained Jon. Yeah, he's been beyond the wall. And I'm pretty sure a couple of them have too, but.
Well, they did have some sort of expeditions beyond the wall, because remember, Jon's uncle was killed beyond the wall, right?
Yeah.
No. That's not his uncle. That's not his uncle. No. Wait, you said his uncle was king beyond the wall?
No, killed. Wasn't his uncle killed?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Benjen. But I don't think they ever found Benjen though.
No, I think they did, and they said he came back, but they had to burn him or something, right?
Oh, he did come back as a White Walker. Wow. I don't remember that. I know they found his horse.
Yeah.
But I don't remember them ever finding his body. But anyway, yeah, just going back to Homeboy. Clearly, talking out the side of his neck. Don't know a goddamn thing what's beyond the wall. Never been beyond the wall all his life. Never been up north all his life. And suddenly he's going to tell Jon about giants. Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, I have a suspicion that they're about to get fucked up real bad.
Oh yeah.
Like Castle Black?
Because the
Yeah.
Mance Raiders coming, they're about to get fucked up real bad. Because Mance Raiders coming, and the White Walkers are coming right behind them, and they're just completely unprepared, and nobody else in Westeros knows what's going on.
Exactly.
Because it's the War of the Five Kings.
Well, nah, I'm not gonna say that. Remember how season 3 ended? Stannis knows what's going on now.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Stannis knows.
He's supposed to do something this season, Stannis. It seems
Oh
like.
yeah, somebody did mention that Stannis was supposed to come, but I mean, honestly, I don't believe Stannis is gonna make a difference.
Well,
he's crazy. He's
see,
crazy. His army was decimated. I don't see it.
That's one of the spoilers that I do know. So I'm not gonna mention it. You'll just see how that plays out. But no, I do agree with you though. I mean, as far as what we know based off of the series as it stands right now, they're completely outmanned. Completely. Not even close. Not even close. And remember, Mance is planning to hit them on both sides of the wall. North and south.
Right.
They're going to, unless something changes drastically, and soon they will have to abandon the wall. They have to. Or they'll be wiped out.
Yeah.
Don't give a damn what warriors they got with them. I mean, you're outnumbered, what, 10-1? No, more than that.
More
Because
than
Mance
that,
has
right.
100,000.
Right.
They barely have 100 under their roof.
And there's huge swaths of Westeros that are already burned to the ground. Like you see the Riverlands at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Westeros is I mean, they had a really bad time to have a civil war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst possible time to have a civil war.
Oh well.
And even if the War of Five Kings ended right now, they would still be in no position to do anything because Greyjoy can't do anything really. Freaking the Starks are all dead pretty much, so their house is fallen. I mean, just huge swaths of their military capabilities just already gone.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, hypothetically speaking, like if they were to just if the Civil War was just to completely end and then all of a sudden they turned all their focus to the Wildlings or the White Walkers or whatever, no, they actually could stand a chance. You got to remember, dude, in season 2, the Tyrells had 100,000 of their own. That was Renly's army. He had 100,000
right.
men. So,
right.
and that was
yeah.
But I mean, but you know that's nothing but a hypothetical because that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Those motherfuckers won't even look up until fucking giants walking over them. And they're like, "What the fuck?"
Pretty much.
Where that come from?
Pretty much. These people are incredibly myopic, which is ironic because some of them can plan and scheme for years to take over the throne, like Tywin.
Mm-hmm.
In one sense, Tywin is incredibly prescient. He has incredible vision. He's built up his family basically from the ground up, and he's able to carry them forward. He's so concerned about his legacy, but on the other hand, he's completely myopic because he can't see anything outside of Westeros, so the Iron Throne.
Either that or he doesn't care. Remember, the rich have the luxury not to care about shit.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, at some point, a sword in your hand is more valuable than a bar of gold. I mean, and many people in history have been on the wrong end of that lesson.
Oh well, you're gonna learn today. Oh man. So let me see. What else do we have to cover in this episode?
Well, Arya
Yeah.
and the Hound.
I was gonna mention Jamie and Cersei's little spat.
Oh, that too.
Oh man, I ain't worried about that. Cersei, no, seriously, Cersei just being fucking Cersei. She wants to sit up here and pick a fight with this man for nothing, for no reason, because she bored.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Well,
I mean, I think Cersei's problem.
Hold up, Hikari, you are not about to sit here and argue with me that Cersei had a valid point in anything that she said.
No. I'm not going to argue that. I would never argue that because, I mean, after all, it's fucking Cersei.
She was wrong.
But
she was wrong.
No, of course she was wrong. But here's the thing, though. I think that from a psychological standpoint, I think that she's always been rejected by Tywin. And that left an incredible void in her life. And I think Jamie, just like you said, there wasn't really love in that relationship, but there was an incredible amount of passion. And there was some concern that they had for each other. And I think she used Jamie to fill that void that was left by the rejection of her father. And when Jamie removed, I mean, of course she can't blame Jamie for that. I mean, he was fighting a war. But that doesn't mean that she wasn't hurt by that and that she didn't take that hurt and turn it into unjustified anger towards Jamie. So, I mean, of course she wasn't justified, but I think that's a valid explanation for why she acted the way she did, but not necessarily an excuse.
But it don't make no damn sense.
Well, of course, I mean, listen, it's the freaking Lannisters.
It don't make no sense. The man didn't have a choice in shit. He didn't have a choice in shit. He got captured, and he's been in chains for 2 seasons.
He had to drink horse piss that he thought was water.
Yeah,
that's the topped off. Then he tells Brienne his confession about, the Bad King. I mean,
Hey, and just for anyone watching this live stream who might have seen my older reviews and whatnot, keep something in mind. I'm not automatically jumping on the Jamie bandwagon. I'm not. I still don't like Jamie. I'm still not. I'm not rooting for him or anything like that. But what's right is right. In that fucking conversation, in that argument, he was right. She was wrong. That's all I'm saying. I call it like I see it. He wasn't wrong in that argument. Crazy. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Okay.
All right, so now I think we're ready for Arya.
Arya and the Hound. The Hound really wants some chicken.
Dude, does he know that whole KFC promotion?
Oh my God, I saw that.
Is it real or is it fan made?
No, I didn't watch it.
It was last I saw. I think it was on the Jimmy Kimmel show. They showed it. That's why I saw it on the internet.
Is it real though?
I have no idea if it's real.
Crazy. I mean, that'd be a good way to
that would be a nice commercial. They really should make it.
Yeah.
to chime in on the popularity, especially since I think I read Chick-fil-A was kicking KFC's ass.
Yeah. He's like, fuck the king.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A's kicking everybody's ass.
Like, well, once he said that, I was like, yes.
Dude, no, see, but that's another thing. Once again, another example of characters talking out the side of their neck. How is homeboy gonna sit up there and tell the Hound what he did wrong at Blackwater? How look at him like, nigga, you weren't there. You didn't see the shit I saw.
Right, this motherfucker was busy. He was busy torturing children while the Hound was fighting the real war.
Exactly, and he gonna sit up there and have the audacity like, oh, so it must have been true. You must have ran away and this, that, and the other. And the Hound was like, motherfucker, you weren't there.
You weren't there.
Craziness, man, craziness.
Yes.
But I I will say this. I mean, you know, the scene was what it was. I mean, it was the only real action sequence in the entire episode. But I will say the one thing I do like about the scene, what I like most about it, is the fact that, you know, Arya was able to get Nito back. To me, that was the most important thing about that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In my review, I made a comparison about, you know, because the title of the episode is called Two Swords. Now, we know that literally means, you know, when Tywin had the two swords forged from ice. But I made a comparison in my review where I said that could very well be talking about the Stark swords as well, because look at what you're dealing with in this episode. The episode begins with the melting down of the Stark ancestral sword, ice. Tywin melts it down, makes two brand new swords, split them up between him and Jaime, you know, the final act of defeating your enemy and whatnot. And then the episode ends with Arya fighting to get her sword back, the one that Jon had made for her. So on the one hand, we open up with the Starks losing something valuable, and on the other hand, we conclude that episode with them reserving what little they have left.
Yeah. Wow.
To me, that was the most important thing about that scene.
Oh, definitely. Now that I think about it, wow.
But here's the thing, though. I think that might be somewhat of a bait and switch. And the reason I say that is because what can Arya really do?
Well,
I'm not sure she really do anything against Tywin or any of the people she named that she wants to kill.
See,
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
See, the way I look at it is this.
Because, hang on a second, Bankai. No, I don't think that has anything to do with it, because it's not about her getting her sword back so that she can use it. It's not about that at all. It's the fact that it was hers.
Right.
And someone took it.
No, I understand that it's about her regaining the sword that basically a Stark sword. Something that was forged by the Stark for her. Right? Mm-hmm. I understand that. However, the sense of power that she had standing over that guy and killing him with that sword, I think that might be somewhat of a bait and switch.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean, it's not like she defeated him on his own. No, the Hound did all the work. She just stepped in for the kill.
Right.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'll tell you something else. I think that, you know, the episode's on right now. I think that this is the first of many similar examples where this is going to have to come to a head. There's going to have to be some honest discourse taking place between the Hound and Arya, because look what happened. Arya forced the Hound into a physical engagement that he didn't want. Why? Because she knew she could, because she knew he would be there to back her up, because she's valuable to him. Something happens to her, he doesn't get his ransom. He doesn't get his reward. And I think that sooner or later, that's going to come to a head. That's going to bite her in the ass. Because the Hound's like, look, I'm not going to be running behind you, doing all, you know, bringing all this unnecessary attention to myself, because you decide that you want to go ahead and try to muscle people around where you don't have the muscle to do so. I'm not your lapdog. I said, fuck the king. You were not even a king.
That raises an interesting point about the way Arya is manipulating the Hound and could potentially continue to manipulate him because she's valuable, because she holds some leverage over him in that sense. However, I also want to address this question, this potential question, or this potential event. Do you ever think that Arya could turn on the Hound?
Absolutely.
I mean, right? Because I mean, she's. It looks like she's turning into some sort of sadistic psychopath.
Oh no,
she's
absolutely.
Not quite there.
Dude, her and the Hound are not friends.
No,
right.
They're not. They are circumstantial. I won't even call them comrades, associates.
Right. Associates, yeah.
Now, yeah, I wouldn't even call them comrades. They are simply traveling together and working together to because they can't do it alone. That's it. At any point in time, when something benefits one of them more than the other, that person's gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Arya's gonna kill the Hound.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think she might kill him. I think she might kill him.
I would not be surprised.
Because if you think about it, Rob was really more like Ned, and Arya is not like Ned.
No.
I mean, she really seems to have taken revenge and vengeance. It looks like it's about to be ramped up. It looks like it's about to be ramped up pretty heavily.
I'm sorry, Bankai, when I cut you off. What you were getting ready to say?
I was just going to mention about the relationship between the Hound and Arya. And this was something that I think I read in an article, something comparing Arya to Sansa, and that Arya has seen all the ugliness of war right now, the wedding and all that jazz. So now she is going into... I don't want to compare her to a certain ninja in a certain shonen manga.
Please don't.
I won't. But she seems to be going down that revenge path. That is definitely what I can see happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And and see, that's another good comparison, because very easily could Arya be like, oh, they killed all my folks, woe is me, this, that, and the other. Yeah. But she doesn't.
No,
she gets off her ass and does something about it. Yeah. Granted, she's not doing anything to much effect, but she's trying. Right. She's not just going to sit up there and be like, oh, they killed my daddy. Oh, they killed my brother. Matter of fact, didn't she kill the guy who sold Grey Wind's head onto Rob's body? She killed that guy at the end of season 3.
Oh, right. Yeah.
She did. Oh, yeah, she did kill him. That's right.
They were there.
That's right. Yeah. She did kill him.
Yeah, she killed that guy, and then in the book, she killed the guy who killed her friend. So, once again, another example of a character doing something. Just do something.
I was going to bring up something that shows how Arya is an example of something of a larger part of the narrative, which is the way that the conflicts in the Game of Thrones are generational. It seems to be passed down from just one generation to another to the next. And a perfect example of this is with the Lannisters, where Tywin's fucked up. He's a sociopath. He turns on his children. He lords over them. He basically terrorizes them. They get fucked up, and then they do the same thing to their children, and that's why Joffrey's like that. And now Arya, I mean, because Arya and Joffrey are pretty much, I mean, they're not of the same generation, but they're in the same age range, and so they're of the same generation in that sense. But all of the conflicts that the Starks had came back to bite them in the ass, and it just got passed down to their children.
No, wait, you said Arya and Joffrey aren't in the same generation? Yeah, they are.
I said, yeah, they're well.
They are.
Yeah, they're in the same age range, so they're in the same generation. So, but yeah,
they are, because remember, Robert, Ned, Lyanna, all roughly
exactly
same age. Right. They were all young together, so. Yeah, they're same generation.
Oh yeah, every child in this series. But yeah, every child in this series has just gotten fucked up by the parents and by the world that they were bequeathed by their parents and grandparents.
Is that
and it just never ends. Same thing with Danny, actually.
Yeah, but my point is this: is that not any different than what happens in the real world?
That's true.
Do we not inherit the conflicts of the previous generation? I mean, dude, for Christ's sakes, when was the last? I mean, dude, just look at the U.S. World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, Desert Storm, Iraq. Take your pick. Every generation has a war.
Yeah.
Or some type of big military conflict.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way of the world, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way of the world.
That is true, but it seems like that's true. But Martin has just taken it to the nth degree. That's why I said that it's that violence in the Game of Thrones world is a cultural psychopathology.
Yeah, matter of fact, the whole conflicts and whatnot, that's not even generational. Because remember what they said, it was 9 years since the last winter, which means the last great conflict, which I believe was the Greyjoy Rebellion. That was in Arya's lifetime. That was in Joffrey's lifetime.
Jesus, man.
Wow.
You know, Robert said it in season 1. It's been 9 years since we had a good fight. So yeah, it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows throughout those children's entire lifetime. That's a lie.
Man, the Game of Thrones is like a look into our past. Pretty scary.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so yeah, I think it's time for final thoughts.
Final thoughts on this episode. I really like this. I really like this episode as a setup. I mean, I love the way that they're grounding the characters. Like I said, with Jaime, with Arya, with the introduction of Oberyn, and I think this season is going to be great.
Bankar?
Yeah, it was really a great episode. Martell, Oberyn. Especially the beginning, and I really, the ending with Arya really, for some reason, I'm beginning to like her a lot more than I did at I think it started at the very end of season 3. So this episode really just put it in there in the foundation to say that I'm really becoming a big fan of her right now.
You weren't already a big Arya fan?
Well, you see, at the end of season 3, it was 2 people who I was becoming a fan of. I was becoming quite of a fan for Jaime and quite of a fan for Arya. So it was those 2.
I'm not a fan of anybody in this series, to be honest.
You don't want to get attached.
No, I mean it's not even about being attached. It's about the fact that these characters inhabit a world that's so alien to me that I cannot find a point of connection with them.
Yeah.
I just can't. And at some point, the narrative becomes more than about who you like or don't like. It just goes beyond that. And so I find myself so gripped by the narrative that I don't even have time to figure out who I like or dislike.
It's okay. Don't get attached. Don't get attached. See, I was a fool. Nobody told me not to get attached. And one by one, they took all my dogs away from me. They took Drogo. They took Rob. Everybody. They took Serial Pharrell. They took all my dogs. Everybody took them from me. I got nobody left but John and Danny. And Danny's starting to get on my damn nerves. And little Arya. I still got little Arya.
Yeah.
She's starting to get on my damn nerves, too.
She's about to go psycho.
Oh, man.
So, anywho, so I mean, all in all, my final thoughts on the episode, like I said, solid premiere. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen the rest of the season. And if nothing else, I'm really trying to figure out how this whole thing is going to play out. Because, like I said, keep in mind what it is we're watching. We're talking about the second half of book 3.
Yeah.
In terms of a novel, this is where all this, the resolution and whatnot, all the climax and everything resides in that half of the book. So it'll be real interesting to see how that plays out with this season. You follow? Because I don't see it playing out like any of the other seasons, where it's sort of just a sort of straightforward all the way through. I'm expecting serious shit to be occurring, almost episode by episode by episode by episode by episode, because that's how I assume it would have been resolved in the book. Not resolved completely, but resolved to the point where this chapter is ended and we can move on to the next one. So we'll see. We will see. But I want to go ahead. I want to take this time to thank uberhikari and Bankai 922 for joining me. Is that right, 922? Or is it 922?
Yeah, it's 922.
Okay, 922. Got it right. For joining me again this week. I see that the comments have been running wild since we've been broadcasting. That's always great. And for anyone watching this video hereafter, please feel free to share your thoughts. Leave them in the comments below. And with that being said, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief. That's you,
This
Hikari.
has been uberhikari, a.k.a. the nerd nigga. Just brought you another video with Otaku Assemble and Bankai 922 with no frills, just the analysis. And thanks for having me on, Larry.
And Bankai?
It's Bankai 922. See you guys later.
All right, and we are signing out. Until next time, peace.
Peace.